Good morning, everybody. I was getting ready for work, and someone asked an interesting question about the origin of what we now call modalism and what is the origin of the name. I did want to just to give a quick, how can I say, historical tidbit before I go into work this morning. But modalism, as we now call it, is actually a relatively new name. It was coined by a historical theologian by the name of Adolf von Harnack. And Adolf von Harnack, in this attempt to distinguish between the various schools of monarchianism, which advocated, monarchianism did, for the supremacy of the Father as related to the deity, was trying to distinguish between what we call simultaneous modalist, or dynamic modalists. Dynamic monarchians. But dynamic monarchians believe kind of like a changing, that the man Christ Jesus kind of became God at one particular time. And there are more nuances to that. But long story short, historically, what we can find of the early quote-unquote modalists would be identifying them as monarchians. You can go to Hippolytus against all heresies. You can even reference Tertullian's against Praxeas, and what you will find, he is railing against the accusation that those who would identify as monarchians are the true monotheists. But of course, that's a whole nother instance. And if you are interested, you can go to my podcast and YouTube series where I talk about probably about the first 15 chapters of Against Praxeas. But just to answer that question that I saw on a Christological debate forum, Oneness debate forum, the earliest title that we have of the early modalists is monarchian. The Sabellians is another ancient title that we see was more in line with from the east, from what I believe, that in the west, where Rome would have been, they would have been known as the monarchians. But that's just what I wanted to add. Please share, rate, subscribe. And as always, it's the whole gospel to the whole world by the whole church. The Lord bless you in Jesus' name.